This one is too weird not to mention. Gabe, GameStop is giving you the deal of a lifetime. They're offering you $200 for your Nintendo Switch. But there is one specific caveat. They need you to trade that Switch for a new Switch. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Gabe is, of course, here. And we are talking this wild GameStop deal where they are offering $200 towards a Nintendo Switch when you trade in your Nintendo Switch. This deal will be valid now through November 11th. And at first blush, you're like, what the heck are they doing? Is this a typo? But then they actually came out and answered the questions and gave, I think, a moderately good reason.
Look, there is a bunch of bundles coming this holiday season. We have Smash Brothers, we have Pokemon, and there are other bundles that are less exciting. They say that maybe you want that Diablo bundle. Maybe you're a huge fan of it, and you already have a Switch. So trade in that Switch. We'll give you $200 towards the new Diablo bundle, and then you got to pay way less to get that. So that's their reasoning. They're saying that some of these bundles are, so worthy of being wanted by fans that they'll take your old boring looking Switch for a new cooler looking Switch, and they'll give you $200 in credit. So I can see how that makes sense to them. I just don't know how many people are going to take advantage of this personally. I would never do this because you still got to go pay out of pocket a decent amount to still get these things.
So the new bundled consoles are $360, and that includes the game. So really, it's $300. So basically, you'd be paying $100 to get a fresh coat of paint on your Switch. You could get a fresh pair of Joy-Con if you pre-order the Pokemon Let's Go bundle. You could get a fresh pair of Joy-Con as well if you pre-order the Smash Bros. Bundles. Diablo is just going to give you the art on the dock and the back of the console. But basically, it's a $100 premium to pick a new look for your Switch. It's almost like a makeover, almost like going to get a really expensive haircut or extensions, or your hair dyed, change a different color. It's really weird, and I want to know the numbers on how many people do this. It seems like so superfluous, right? Like, this has nothing to do with functionality. It's just literally preying on people that may be big fans of Pokemon, big fans of Smash, big fans of Diablo, and offering them an opportunity to get a limited, even cooler Switch. I'm sure some people will be very glad, to do this rather than having to buy the console entirely. You probably could do better on eBay, but this is a nice, simple, easy way if you really want some dock art to go get this done in an instant.
Yeah, and this is more a thing of convenience. With eBay, you still got to ship it, and I don't know.
For sure.
So the convenience here is probably part of why the price is... I mean, that's still a good trade-in value. Again, I would never do this. I don't feel like that strongly about having like a decal, like on my... Not a decal, but the sketching.
But I feel strongly about the Joy-Con for Pikachu and Eevee. So this is actually enticing to me because there's really no purpose in me having two Switches. Okay. I can't think of one. So outside of the fact that it's kind of frustrating to transfer things over...
Not anymore. Cloud saves.
Yeah, I guess that does make things...
It makes it easier. And I mean,
it's just the re-downloading process for me because I do have... Well, the card swap, I don't know. Maybe it actually won't be that hard. Maybe I'll actually try this out. Maybe I'll actually be one of the weird ones that goes to GameStop and gives them some satisfaction of using their strange deal.
It's important to note, though, not every game has cloud saves. Splatoon, you're not going to be able to carry that over. So if you're really tied into that, it's a harder sell. But yeah, you're right. You put all your games on an SD card, take that out, trade in your Switch, and boom. I mean, you're fine for the most part. You got to re-sign. You got to re-sign in, and cloud saves now make things easier and more manageable for other experiences. So yeah, now you have me wondering, like, hey, maybe this isn't... I'm not that like big into like Diablo personally, and the Smash one like doesn't look cool enough for me to do it. But that Pokemon one though, what up, Pokemon? What up? Oh yeah, go ahead. That's what I was going to talk about. But you do it.
Yeah, I was going to point out that this deal does expire pre-Pokemon launch, so it would need to be a pre-order. I'm assuming that's still totally possible, but it is up on the 11th, so if you do want to get on this and you are waiting for that Pikachu Eevee combo Switch, then definitely do it now, which is, I guess, slightly odd because then you'll go... Well, if you do it at the end, I guess, if you literally traded in on 11/11 the last day, you'd go 5 days without a Switch.
Yeah, and a lot of people are complaining about not having stuff to play on the Switch anyway, so...
Hey, yeah. $100 in 5 days. And again, you can be nitpicky and say it really is $160, but if you're that into one of these, games that you want the console, we assume that you'd be buying the game as well, and therefore the $60 is kind of negated by the fact that you have to pay $60 for whichever specific game. I don't know. Like, at first blush, I was like, what the heck are they doing? I sent you the tweet before we had any explanation, and it was like, this has to be a typo, right? This has to be a goofy just mistake. But it's kind of crazy that they're doing this, and honestly, like, it's $200. Do you feel like that's fair?
Yeah, it's more than fair. I mean, for GameStop, at least. I'm not selling.
For a system that's a year and a half old.
Yeah, I wouldn't sell my Switch for $200, but GameStop is notorious for not offering like good prices on anything. They every once in a while they have some good offers, I guess. But yeah, I think
here's what I'm going to do. Gabe, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just had a brilliant idea. I'm going to go trade in for the Diablo Switch on November 2nd. I'm going to play that, and then I'm going to go trade that in for the Super Smash Bros. Switch, which also releases on November 2nd, maybe a couple days later. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to trade that in for the Pokemon
Zach,
Switch to pre-order.
Every time you trade it in with generic Joy-Con, you keep the Joy-Con.
Okay, I wonder that. There's no rule on the Joy-Con, right?
No, there isn't.
I can just get all these cool Joy-Con.
Yeah. Look, unfortunately, this expires. But, dude, this could be a way for you to end up with all the Joy-Con.
Okay, because Joy-Con are $80.
Yeah.
So, the fact that you cannot buy... Now, this is a horrible... In reality, this is a horrible deal because you are losing Joy-Con in the process. But if you were, let's say, desperate for like the Pikachu Eevee Joy-Con and they will not be released outside of the bundle, this would be a way to basically get those Joy-Con for a $100 swap fee, which is steep as heck.
Yeah, it's expensive.
And maybe they'll just sell them on eBay for better. But I do think that they're going to go for more than $100 on eBay. I think people will sell the combo of the two Joy-Con for more than that on eBay.
All right, let's stop giving people ideas, but there is so many interesting things to do here.
Yeah, it's very, very crazy, and maybe even a little cool. How do you feel about this? Would you ever consider dumping your generic current launch Switch for one of these fancy Switches, as they may be called? Or do you think this is just a dumb deal and GameStop should be pushed aside and this should not even be a thing? I'm
ignoring it.
I'm slightly tempted. I feel very bad about that. I feel very guilty, but I'm slightly tempted to make the swap for the Pokemon Let's Go console. Let us know your take in the comments down below, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch and kooky things like this from Switch shops, places, and people. We've got you covered. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Discord too. Links in the description below. And until next time, I'm just too excited for the new Joy-Con game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm messing up here. But for now, have a fantastic day, everyone. We love you so much. For myself and Gabe, Switch Force out.